Okay, I think we should get started. Right, so it's 12 o'clock. We want to start in time. So dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, at least in Europe and in Asia. Good morning, Colin, and everyone from the North America and South America. Sorry for the very early hour for you. Welcome to this very special edition of the Sustainable Chemistry Club in the framework of the Innovation Day of our IC3 Sustainable Chemistry Spotlight 2023. My name is Alexis Bazzanella. I'm the director of the IC3 Innovation Hub, and I have the pleasure to facilitate the first part of this session. Later on, my colleague Juanita Halblaub will take over. She's the International Relations Manager at IC3 Innovation Hub. In case this is, or in the unlikely case, this is your first visit of the Sustainable Chemistry Club, let me give you a very short introduction. So this is actually the 5th webinar of the Sustainable Chemistry Club on advancing UNEP's 10 objectives and guiding considerations for green and sustainable chemistry. It's a result of a collaboration of IC3 with the Science and Technology Park Pune, and for this particular series, also with UNEP, of course. In each of these webinars, we are specifically focusing on 2 of the 10 UNEP objectives respectively. And today we are looking at the last remaining objectives. That's objective 5, advancing sustainability of products, and objective 10, developing solutions for sustainability challenges. In every webinar, we are featuring 2 Indian startups representing, so to say, role model innovations and business concepts with respect to the regarded 2 UNEP objectives. In most cases, they don't only address 2 of the objectives, they are clearly beyond that. Also, I think you will see that also in the presentations today. In total, after today's sessions, we will have seen 10 startups that have showcased, and these 10 startups have been carefully selected beforehand in a competition of Indian startups under the title Impactful Sustainable Chemistry Startups and Innovators in India. So that being said, let me briefly share my screen with you for the program. Okay, that should be visible to you now. I hope that's the case. So we will start with brief now introduction, and Colin will take over then for briefly presenting the objectives, UNEP objectives, and particular objectives 5 and 10. We have then 2 startups presenting. So welcome Raj and Amit from Schützen and Ritija Agri-Technologies. And after that, we will have a panel discussion and Q&A, and you're also invited as participants to really participate in this discussion, and you place your questions via the chat. Then we have conclusions, and normally at that point, the Sustainable Chemistry Club stops. This will not be the case today. So there's a second reason why this last webinar is a bit special, because we also want to again highlight our 10 finalist startups that have been presenting in the webinars over the last, I think, 15 months. And we want to award 3 of these startups we have selected from the 10 finalists together with our partners as the best startup solutions. And these 3 startups will be invited to our IC3 Investor Forum this year at the World Chemicals Conference in Bonn, Germany in September this year. So that being said, let me briefly show you our speakers for today. As I said, Juanita is doing the co-moderation today, and I will briefly introduce each of the speaker when it is your turn. So starting with the program now, I want to introduce Colin. So we stop sharing. Colin Hanahan, who is with UNEP. He's a consultant at UNEP with a focus on green and sustainable chemistry and the science policy interface for chemicals and waste. Colin holds a master in sustainable chemistry. He studied in Spain and has been working in research and development for green energy technologies in the private sector and academia before joining UNEP. So, Colin, welcome again. Apologies for the very early morning for you, and please go ahead.
Thanks, Alexis. Can everyone hear me? See my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, Alexis, for the introduction. Thanks for having me again on the last iteration of the Sustainable Chemistry Club. My name's Colin Hanahan. I have worked with UNEP on the topic of green and sustainable chemistry for the past couple of years, and I'm just going to give a quick background on UNEP's work up to this point on this topic, as well as a look at 2 of the 10 green and sustainable chemistry objectives, 5 and 10. And I will be brief as to give time to the amazing startups we have today on the agenda. So going back to 2019, many of the top chemical scientists in the world came together to make this very thick report, about this thick, 800 pages, called the Global Chemicals Outlook 2. So based on this 800-page report, there were 10 key messages. So I've put a couple here on the screen. One is that hazardous chemicals and other pollutants continue to be released and are ubiquitous in humans and the environment. Another that's not here is that the chemical industry is rapidly growing. And then there's 2 here which are a bit more positive or forward-looking. So one is that this growth in chemical-intensive industry sectors will give opportunities to advance sustainable consumption, production, and innovation. And consumer demand can be harnessed by scaling up green sustainable chemistry innovation. And basically, they all came together with these 10 key messages to say that business as usual is not an option. So this little quote above is from the framework manual, which I'll introduce in a second, but chemistry innovation, that includes innovation in molecules, in processes, as well as product development. So I mentioned back on the last slide some of the potential for innovation. So here I've tried to summarize what green and sustainable chemistry innovation can do. It can contribute to circularity. It can contribute to solving climate change. It can obviously contribute to reducing pollution. So recognizing this potential and the recommendations from the Global Chemicals Outlook 2, all member states came together at the 4th United Nations Environment Assembly, welcoming the analysis of best practice in sustainable chemistry, and it requested UNEP to make manuals on green and sustainable chemistry. So in 2020, the Green and Sustainable Chemistry Framework Manual was released, which is another thick document, not as thick as the Global Chemicals Outlook 2. And it kind of gives a high-level overview of what green and sustainable chemistry is, some key elements. And its overall goal is here on this quote: foster general learning, reflection, and scaling up action based on a common global understanding of green and sustainable chemistry. And in this diagram on the right, you can see kind of the organization of the manual. So the first half, it answers the questions why and what. Why do we need green and sustainable chemistry, and what is it? And then the last half, chapters 5, 6, and 7, delve into how can we achieve that. So right at the heart of the framework manual are these objectives. So you can see they range from, typical green chemistry considerations like minimizing chemical hazards, avoiding regrettable substitutions, but it also gets into more of the social side, protecting workers, maximizing social benefits, and then working all the way up to objective 10, which we'll be talking about today, which is great because it's one of my favorites: developing solutions for sustainability challenges. Overall, the objectives are trying to achieve the following: promote innovation to unveil the full potential of chemistry such that it is compatible with and supports the implementation of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. So last year at the 5th United Nations Environment Assembly, after UNEP had been carrying out some activities related to the framework manual, spreading the word, the member states came together to welcome the Green and Sustainable Chemistry Framework Manual and encouraging people to use it, essentially. So that's what we're doing now. We're looking to talk to people, carry out activities to turn those recommendations in this manual into action. So this Sustainable Chemistry Club with ISC3 is a great example of trying to do that. So, oh, we got someone. Okay. So while the objectives are meant to be viewed as one holistically, today we'll delve a little deeper into two of them. So first, objective 5, that's advancing sustainability of products. Use green and sustainable chemistry innovation to create sustainable products and consumption with minimized or no chemical hazard potential. So the way that you can take a look at this objective is to kind of zoom out from the molecular level, and we're looking at the product level of those consumer products and how green and sustainable chemistry can make new sustainable products or redesign old products to be more sustainable. So there's a lot of examples out there, but during this Sustainable Chemistry Club series, we've seen a lot of great ones. We saw sunglasses made from bags of chips. We saw incense made from waste flowers from religious ceremonies in India. We saw Coco Custo, which made a more sustainable laundry detergent. So those are some great examples of that. And I put some parts of the framework manual that can help to encourage green sustainable chemistry and product design and some approaches to incorporate it. And then objective 10. So objective 10 kind of encourages entrepreneurs and innovators to look beyond just replacing one toxic chemical with another and to try to, develop innovations that address climate change, that address circularity. And it also encourages a wider ecosystem of stakeholders, those higher up in government, managers and companies to recognize the potential of green and sustainable chemistry to really solve those important sustainability challenges of our own time. So here I've put a little diagram from the framework manual outlining how innovations in green and sustainable chemistry can support transformation to a sustainable electricity system. And today we're going to hear from two amazing startups who are already advancing objective 10, developing innovations that address climate change, circularity, a sustainable food system, that's another one. And then I guess just going quickly back to 5, when you're advancing the sustainability of products, it's not just non-toxic products, it's circular products, it's those with longer shelf life in all aspects of sustainability. So to conclude, you're supposed to look at the objectives as one, not just one at a time. You don't want to advance one objective at the expense of the other. But basically, you can take these objectives, you can show them to people to show what green sustainable chemistry innovation can achieve. And we're trying to complement these objectives now with real world examples of those who are doing it. So this webinar series is perfect for that. And my email will be on the next page. If anybody has any questions or examples of other startups or people in India who are working to advance these objectives, I'd love to hear from you. So thanks a lot again, ISC3, and I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you very much, Colin, for this brief but on the point introduction. There's one comment in the chat to have a link to reference material. So Colin, if you have the link to the manual at hand, it would be nice if you could post it in the chat.
I sure can.
So people can access. So if you want to have the real big Bible on the Global Chemicals Outlook, that's also available, of course. So yeah, thank you for that. And now we start with our two startups or to showcase best practice examples. And we start with Raj. Tana Raj is the founder and managing director of Schutzen Chemical Group in India. He has completed his education from University of Manchester in textile chemical technology and business management. Raj, as well as the whole Schutzen Group team as a whole, are committed to provide sustainable textile chemicals, specialty chemicals, paint and coating chemicals, and personal home care products from bio-waste, thereby replacing fossil by biogenic carbon and ensuring non-toxicity and high biodegradability. You will learn more about that in a minute, I'm sure. Among others, Raj holds granted patents for processing tamarind seed polysaccharide, and I think that's a raw material you already actually started with. Now, as I understood, it's more diversified, so we're really curious to learn about what Schutzen Group is doing and how your business evolves.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alexis, for the introduction. And surely, yes, we started our main business with tamarind, and now we have built up on this foundation. And I will share my screen now so that we can deep dive into what we have been doing with our chemistry. So a quick disclaimer before we start. Is the screen changing, or we have run into problems? Have we? No. Okay. So quick disclaimer that all the data and information is based on the latest research up to March 2023, and any logo presentation is not endorsed by any company. So with this, I would like to move on. So Schutzen now is focused on developing bio-based and biodegradable chemistries based on carbon-14 isotope, that is biogenic carbon. And as we go further, we will understand about this. So Schutzen also has all the products now, whichever they launch, as USDA bio-based certified products. We understand that today the environment is facing three core problems. One is global warming, second is effluent toxicity, and the third is non-biodegradability of the products across every industry. And if we break down these three problems and we try to microanalyze, we come to realize that the first part of the problem is based on what we choose. The second part, the effluent toxicity, is based on how we process this product. And the last part is linked to the first part, that is the biodegradation. And we come to realize that the root of all problem is synthetic chemistry. So what is synthetic chemistry? Synthetic chemistry is everything that is developed using fossil fuels, and fossil fuels based on carbon-12 isotope. So in this chart, we can see for the last 800,000 to 1 million years, we have not seen a spike in carbon dioxide. And for this discussion, we are only talking about carbon neutral and not net zero. So we will only focus on carbon dioxide based emissions. So fossil carbon is based on either coming from coal, natural gas, or from oil. And when we burn this up, we generate a lot of carbon dioxide, and then that warms the planet. So the first part of the problem is global warming coming from carbon-12 isotope. So today, this is the current carbon cycle. And on the right side of the screen, we will see that there are three types of carbon isotopes: carbon-12 isotope, carbon-13 isotope, and carbon-14 isotope. Carbon-12 isotope usually mainly exists abundantly in the environment. Carbon-13 not so much, and carbon-14 is very, very rare. It's almost 1 to 1 trillion to carbon-12. For the sake of this discussion, we will keep carbon-13 aside in discussion, which comes from natural volcanic cycles. And here we can see that we have started producing more of carbon-12 coming from formation of fossil fuels. And this is generating carbon dioxide, which then normally would have got sequestered back by carbon sinks, which we call as animal plants, carbon soil, and phytoplanktons, which we define as carbon sinks. And the ratio of this has changed because of excess formation of carbon-12 into the atmosphere. So the solution to this is to move towards biogenic carbon, carbon-14. And to understand this, we must understand what carbon-14 is. The carbon-14 is a radioactive carbon, a biogenic carbon, which is naturally developed. When cosmic radiations hit nitrogen-14, they convert nitrogen-14 to carbon-14. This carbon-14 then gets absorbed by plants and animals and living things. And when these animals die, they turn back carbon-14 to nitrogen-14. So it was a perfectly set cycle by nature. where we intervened by bringing carbon-12 into the system, which broke the balance of carbon dioxide emissions. So this is the new proposed carbon cycle. Here we are not processing products based on carbon-12 isotope, but we are using biogenic carbon-14 coming from plants and animals. Now, when we do this, we will also generate carbon dioxide, but this will then get equally sequestered back. But because for every carbon dioxide that we release, we need to replenish by equivalent feedstock to have the next supply. So it's a carbon neutral cycle, more biogenic carbon dioxide, more plantations, and then that's a circular economy, a bio-based economy that we enter into. So how do you prove biocarbon? The only way to prove biocarbon is through AMS testing. We do this in USA, and we basically date the carbon. If the date of the carbon falls in a certain period, we can detect that this is having bio-based carbon. So this is one example of our product, which is having 100% bio-based carbon C14. This is our wetting agent, which is ethoxylate-free. A word of caution, bio-based carbon does not mean biodegradability. So as we see that this is now getting linked back to the first part is how we choose our first raw material, having biogenic carbon, being biodegradable, and then processing it. Another word of caution is when we produce products based on bio-based carbon, it's really important that we don't create another palm oil crisis. So it's important to have a biodiverse feedstock, and the solution to this would be to move more towards the seeds and not the fruits, which are also probably competing with the food chain. We use the seeds, which are a bio waste, and then we upcycle this bio waste in a more efficient way so that we have a more sustainable feedstock. And then we need more forests and more biodiverse fruits to thrive. So you cannot have farming, but more forestry, which then promotes upcycling of the seeds. At Schutzen, we do this because we comply with the Nagoya Protocol. This is the Nagoya Protocol set up for biodiversity. And we also have a benefit sharing with the government of India under the National Biodiversity Act. So everything that we produce from our raw materials, the benefit is then passed back to the low-income groups and to the core level. So we have a circular economic system along with circular supply system. So now coming to the more important discussion would be how we process these products and why do we need to process. Any raw material needs to be made a usable resource which can be applied in every industry by making it water soluble. Today, we generally rely on three dominant technologies: ethylene oxide-based ethoxylation, propoxylation, and cationic reactions. And when we react these products with starting raw materials, which are either bio-based or fossil-based, it leads to hordes of problems. And this mainly projects the effluent problem of the industry. So how do we mitigate this problem? To understand that, let's make an example. Let's say we take trideshanol, which is a C13 chain length having carbon-12 based on fossil carbon, and we do an ethoxylation on it. We will yield 0 biocarbon, having very high toxic ethylene oxide groups. Ethylene oxide is now declared as class 1 carcinogen, causing lymphoma and leukemia and stomach and breast cancers. This will make the trideshanol water soluble and then eventually can be used in every industry. However, this product would be not biodegradable, and when it does break down, it will give you monomers and monomer moieties, which are synthetic moieties, which will then cause microplastic issues and toxicity issues to human health and to the environment. The second example is an abundantly used silicon cationic product. It's a silicon oil coming from fossil carbon and then cationized with a positive charge called a cationic surfactant, which leads 0 biocarbon and very ubiquitous and highly toxic quad groups. This leads to poor biodegradation and microplastic generation. This then enters the food chain, and cationic surfactants today are responsible for 5% of childhood cancer and 10% of adult asthma, and they enter into the fish cycle and then eventually enter into the human life cycle, causing cancers. So what is the solution? The solution is to move to 3 component systems where we have the raw material starting being biogenic carbon tested with an American USDA biocertified or an ASTM analysis, and then doing a reaction which is not based on ethylene oxide, propylene oxide, or quat, yielding to more than say 90% or 80% bio-based carbon, having very low chemical oxygen demand, biological oxygen demand, which leads to high biodegradation. And this then completely perfects our system. So we do this based on two of our patents based on tamarind. One is how we process the tamarind, and then the product that we yield out of such processes is the patented tamarind product. So to summarize Shudzin's technology, Shudzin uses a predictive bio-based algorithm, quantifies the test results at ASTM analysis, where they prove to have more than 90% bio-based carbon with 90% of our products. Then we do a chemical oxygen, biological oxygen demand. We do the biodegradation study. And then finally, we also check for restricted substances and declared MRSLs. And we target 0 ppm, and all our products have 0 ppm of restricted substances. Moving further, today we have 28 products across 4 verticals. Shudzin offers 21 products in textile processing. We are the world's first company to completely replace fossil carbon from pre-treatment to finishing across the entire textile value chain. We have 4 products for the coating and construction market. We have 2 products for the personal care market, and we have 2 products for the home care market. And these are all ethylene oxide free, propylene oxide free, and quat free, except for 2 products in the portfolio. So the current research and developments going on is a bio-based optical brightening agent, which is on a final stage, various ethoxylate-free surfactants having different chain lengths, bio-based surfactant, which is SLES free, a water repellent where we have initial success, an ambitious project on water and oil repellent. We have an aminopropanol replacement. We are working for the coating and construction industry. We have good results. We will be also launching at ITMA Milan for textile products, and we will be launching the world's first bio-based silicate-free alkali buffer for dyeing, which is an industry problem. We're working on bio-based binders from polysaccharides, bio-based laundry chemicals, and the byproduct of tamarind seed when we process leads to a lot of possible biofuel. So this is a more ambitious project we will be working on as a long-term research and development project. So we have some approvals from the world's, from UK's oldest yarn dyeing mill, FTS Dyers, and they have launched our products in to the textile market. So let's talk about impact. And I would like to spend some more time here. So we have, sorry, Alex is.
Please speed up a bit.
Okay, sure. Just 2 slides and then we're done. Okay. So this is an example of the textile wet processing. Here we are using a cotton-based raw material with fossil carbon, and we see that the product yields less than 70% bio-based carbon, and it generates 5.9 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. This we have done using our internal algorithm. Use a very high carcinogenic toxic waste, generating microplastics and human health issues. And based on our algorithm, we found that we can reduce that and generate 65.6 million metric tons of carbon dioxide based on biogenic carbon, having no toxicity, having cleaner effluents, having baby-safe products with a very high bio-based carbon, also with a bio-based cotton, leading to no microplastics. And as we have some distribution partners across the world, and we serve a large market, but as Mahatma Gandhi said once, that we should follow, be the change you want to see in the world. So thank you very much, Dr. Alexis, for the time, and apologies on if I extended my time.
Okay, thank you, Raj. And we continue with our second startup, and I like to introduce Amit Kumar Gupta. He's founder and CEO of Ritual Agri-Technologies, developing liquid organic fertilizers or manure. So Amit is an engineering graduate with 15 years experience in agricultural sales and marketing. He's been working in different multinational corporates in agricultural sales, and now uses this experience together with his team in developing an own business in the agriculture field. So we're curious to learn about what you are doing, what your company is doing. So welcome.
Hello everyone, myself Amit Kumar Gupta, and my startup name is Vruddhijal Agri Technologies Private Limited, based at Jaipur, Rajasthan in India. And what about my core team? Myself, as already introduced by Mr. Alex. Second is Mr. Dr. Sonali Bhagat. She's co-founder and CTO in our company. She's after done his BTech and MTech, she did PhD in biotechnology. She has more than 8 years of experience in research in medicinal plants and their nutrition analysts. She also been a part of several research projects funded by different institutes of Government of India. And third one is Mrs. Ruchi Khandelwal. She's founder and financial partner. She belongs to a business family. And she's also director in Desire Energy Solutions Private Limited, which is a national award winner company. And looking into the problem identification, the inappropriate and excessive use of chemical fertilizer leads to soil, water, and environmental pollutions. And it creates a lot of issues with the soil quality and deficiencies of some major and micronutrients in the soil, and harmful effects on health of the people who consume these products. And in the scenario of global climate change, the unscientific use of these chemical inputs are the major threat to the environment. So to reduce minimizing these ill effects, it is high time to shift agriculture system from chemical to organic. So here we have developed a unique solution, unique liquid fertilizer, organic fertilizer. This contains all the essential 14 nutrients like iron, zinc, nitrogen, phosphorus, phosphate in a single solution. In case of chemical fertilizer, farmer has to use different single solution for a single nutrients. So he has to use 14 nutrients now, and in case of our product, we have to use only single product. And this farmers are getting very good results, very good effects in their farming practices, and it product also minimizes the incidences of diseases as it improves the immunity of the plant. And this single solution is enough for all types of crops and vegetable. And technical for the technical part of the product, I handed over to Dr. Sonali.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sonali, and I'll be speaking about the technicalities of our product Vruddhijal. So basically, Vruddhijal is a unique liquid organic fertilizer that is collected after the water passes through a activated worm column in which we use the agriculture waste, animal waste, and earthworms as a raw material. So the final product, it contains excretory products of earthworms like enzymes, several amino acids, blend of macro and micro elements, and some organic plant extract, along with the beneficial microorganisms that are present in the earthworm secretions. So our product is unique in the sense that it contains 14 essential nutrients that are required by the plants for their proper growth and development, and also necessary for the health of the soil health. And as compared to the conventional chemical farming, the farmer has to use 14 different products, inorganic or chemical products, to meet the nutrient requirements of the crops. But in our case, a single product is enough for the for meeting the requirements, nutritional requirements of the crops for their proper growth and development. And the main USP of our product is it is completely, totally chemical free, and it has been certified by Rajasthan State Organic Certification Agency that complies with the NPOP and NOP standards for National Organic Policy of US. So this is how our Vruddhijal manufacturing plant looks like. And the next one is the layout diagram, how our plant is set up and how the process and instrumentation goes on for the final production of our product. And this is the basic, it is in tabular form, the parameters, like along with the pH, electrical conductivity, and total general nitrogen, and other 14 essential nutrients that are present in our product that varies in this range. And in this slide, we have covered the nutritional requirement of all these crops, and we can see like different nutrients are required in this quantity for different crops. Like we have covered the cash crops, staple crops, rice and wheat, and then cotton, oats, and different vegetables also. So more or less, it is our product is meeting the nutritional requirements of all these crops. It is as again and again we say that a single product is enough to meet the nutritional requirement of all the crops. Going with the benefits, benefit side, the Vriddhi Jal enhances the soil structure and texture, improves the water holding capacity, and enhances the microbial activity in the soil that leads to proper growth of the crop. It contains certain enzymes and essential nutrients that mainly improves the immunity of the plant. If the plant is not deficient in any of the nutrient, then it is less likely to catch any disease. And it is an effective organic fertilizer because it has been proven in our experiments that its direct spraying leads to 20 to 25% growth in the crop, and that contributes to overall growth and development of the plant. And last but not the least, completely chemical free, certified organic product, and it is rich in all the essential nutrients that maintain the proper amount of moisture in the soil.
This is the test report of our product, which whatever we are proving is completely supported by this report. This is our business concept model. These are our product photographs. Diesel is available in 1 liter to 30 liter pack. And these are some customers' feedback, different crops in different areas of India. Customer feedback videos. This is the achievement till now. We have a team size of 25 right now, and we are planning 50 by November 23. And last year we did a revenue of $1,62,500, and this year we are planning $6,25,000. And we are currently working in Rajasthan, UP, Uttarakhand, and MP. Currently we have 25 distributors, and we are planning 100 by March 24. We have 83 dealers and planning 300 by March 24. And as for the stability of the product and the business, I can see there are so many examples are there. India has a more arable lands in the world. 40% of the country's workforce is engaged in agriculture sector. There is a huge fertilizer and organic fertilizer market present in India, and around 22,000 wholesalers and 266,000 retailers are working across the India. And we have a manufacturing plant which is 100% automated and can be easily scalable. And future aspects of our idea is our R&D team is working day and night, and they are for new product development. We are working on the solution of a biopesticide, seed treatment, and soil treatment products. And we are also planning common platform in the future where anybody can sell and purchase the organic products, which will be certified by Vriddhi Jal team based on testing and customer reviews. As we see the impact on environment, as chemical fertilizers has a huge impact on environment, human health, and soil health. In case of environment, organic farms, it's already research shows that organic farms use 45% less energy, release 40% less carbon emission, and foster 30% more biodiversity than conventional chemical farming. In case of human health, as per WHO, due to death and chronic disease due to these pesticides and these chemical fertilizer account about 1 million per year. And in case of soil health, we are losing millions of tons of soil every year due to soil erosion because of excess chemical use of excess chemical fertilizer and pesticide. And organic fertilizer improves soil structure, reduce erosion, and lower soil temperatures also. If we see, organic food market is growing day by day, and after the pandemic, people's mindset is also changing towards using organic products. These are some certificates and recognitions we got from different agencies, private and government bodies. Thank you very much. It's all about our.
So thank you also to you, Amit, and again, Raj, for the two presentations and your already impressive achievements, I must say. So if you could stop sharing your presentation, I would also invite Colin, you're already back, and Lalit, if you could switch on your microphone and camera as well. I hope you're able to do that. Okay. Welcome. So these are our panelists. So last one not yet introduced is Dr. Lalit Sharma. I would briefly do that. So he's currently working as a technical expert in the GIZ India project on circular economy solutions, preventing marine litter and ecosystems. He has been working under bilateral programs with German and Austrian agencies over 2 decades on many different fields, covering environment, energy, resource, and waste management in different aspects. Majorly worked on ground implementation with private sectors in more than 200 industrial companies and state departments, technology providers, and the informal sector, and later also as program coordinator with the Ministry of Environment, Forest, and Climate Change. So welcome in this round. And Lalit, perhaps I would like to start with you. We had 2 great examples showcasing how systemic chemistry innovation can create products with hopefully minimized or no chemical hazard potential. But we know, and I think from your wide expertise in different fields, this is not an isolated field we're acting in. So there are many framework conditions influencing an innovation. So how do you feel the situation in India for an entrepreneur is in these fields, and let's say also advancing perhaps to what your experience is in energy and in the waste sector and other sectors. So is it a good ecosystem at the moment, or are those innovators facing major challenges?
Thank you, Alexis, and thanks for this opportunity. I hope I'm audible, absolutely clear, loud. Before I come to your specific questions, I will just take a minute because that would be interesting and important for the audience to have an understanding on that what we are doing. There have been already some inputs on which we are also working on, but in a nutshell, we are working on a project which is mainly concerned with the plastic, littering of plastic into the river ecosystems, and we are working at a scale in 3 very large states in the country. And the 3 specific elements on which we are working is 1, tracking mechanism for avoiding the littering, 2, demonstrating various business models which are scalable, and number 3 is supporting the government on the national level. So to give you a scale, on one side, within the project, we have worked with some of the alternates where we are trying to support them that, okay, what is on the policy domain happening, where are the challenges, what can be the support mechanism which can be brought in, because Alex and others will understand and will definitely agree to it. Regulation is one part. India has been really very fast on regulation. In the last 1 year, you see, we have the extended producer responsibility on the plastic packaging. We have a single-use plastic ban absolutely on 20 categories of the single-use plastic. But we have been able to also try with the government, with the state government, instead of only regulation, to give a role of a facilitator also to them, that how can those who are not in the business now can bring themselves to a platform where the people who are in the business of alternatives, like there were two examples shared today, they can share the platform and they can come across with. Now, coming on to what you've mentioned already, that how can we see that how the startups can look to the situation in the country as of now. I will just come with the three specific pointers and then probably proceed for the next sort of questions. You see, if we look at the composition of the plastic in India, within 7 to 8 years, it doubled. We used to have it somewhere around 6 to 8%. Now it is around 14%. There are countries wherein you can even find 52% of the composition, the overall municipal solid waste. Now, when we look today, a lot is happening on the end of the plastic value chain, but very less is happening on the beginning of it. And that's why if you see that a lot can be done on the alternatives, a lot can be done on the design elements, a lot can be done. And there are quite a lot of examples in the country like India. You don't have, we have numbers and we have numbers of options available. The problem is they are not to the scale when we talk of that they can really bring a huge impact. So in other terms, there are various aspects which are in there where we also look forward that there can be a standardization on one side, but then there is a conducive environment as of now, if we talk about from the government, from the policy side, from the market side, and with the EPR. There are quite a lot of things which were not used to be there, and now the market and the scenario is such that for things which we were talking in the two presentations, the wonderful, for the alternatives also for the single-use plastic, there is quite a lot of scope as of now to look forward for. For example, you see, in one of the very recent research, the global warming potential for the production of around 1 kg of LDP, 100 microns carry bag, which was equivalent to 40 kg of CO2 equivalent, was more than 490 times than a jute bag. Now, this in itself connects you that if you are looking forward for some sort of an alternatives on the reduce aspect, it is definitely going to have a steady, but for sure, absolute circular economy based sort of an example in which we can really work on. And to add the last point, if you talk of India, you see, we have this lifestyle for the environment introduced by Honorable Prime Minister in 2021 in Glasgow, wherein this support mechanism already talked about that. You see, we have to talk and discuss and move from sort of a mindful and deliverable utilization instead of mindless and destructive consumptions, if I may say so. So looking into all these specific facts in the country as of now, there is a huge scope for the organizations, for the stakeholders to come across onto these kind of activities, and there is sustainable chemistry and such kind of aspects can do wonders, if I may say so. We are also trying to work out on few aspects. There is already in the extended producer responsibility, it is said that there has to be a recycled content from 2025 onwards by the brand owners in the overall manufacturing. And we have quite a number of cases as of now. We are also trying to work out that with some sort of chemical solution, with some permutations and combinations, with the category 2 flexible polybags, or in this case, we had some cement bags, we have been able to come across with the 100% lab test solution for de-inking the particular material, taking it back from market and de-inking, and then probably having the same plastic content again recycled into the same stream. So I would, Alex, stop myself here. Yeah. These are some of the aspects on which we can really look forward for.
Thank you for this extensive question. I would like to pass over the same question, perhaps hands-on to Amit and Raj, where you are producing and offering alternatives. So how do you feel the is there enough support? Do you feel there's acceptance by customers and let's say downstream, or what could be done to improve what you're doing?
So can I go ahead, Amit? Yeah,
please.
Yeah. So thank you, Alexis. What we see is definitely that there is a big customer interest, surely. But what's missing here is how do they benefit from such a technology? This is where the gap is, where they say, great, we are cost neutral. So we are not having our technology at a premium. We are cost neutral, we are CapEx neutral, and carbon neutral. Even after having this, largely a transition from an existing fossil chemistry-based product moving to a bio-based or more sustainable chemistry is not incentivized or legislated or regulated, So either a regulation, a legislation, or an incentive model could then drive the technology towards available new technologies. You understand? So it's not that we don't have technologies. Amit has technologies, we have technologies. There are a lot of other startups who have technologies, but there has to be an incentive to move. And this is where we see a little bit of a friction or a gap, in the speed at which we can move. So this is my little take on what can be done. As far as finance side, maybe sustainable financing needs to buck up. Maybe they need to be a little more aggressive. They are heavily invested already in fossil carbon-based products. New investments are being made. So probably that could be also another challenge on the finance side, that capital should be more freely available. And in India, we see that the capital is lowest when it comes to availability of capital. India ranks the lowest. If the same technology was to be produced in European countries or American countries, the capital would be more freely available. And this we see as a major challenge in India, but we are okay. But we see this as a gap in the market.
Thank you. Amit.
Yeah, hi. In our case, convincing farmers, dealers in the community for the adopting this organic fertilizer is quite challenging. And even government is supporting so much. There are a lot of schemes are going on, but still we have to do too much. What we are doing right now, we are appointing people from the local community, village level, which they are from farming background. They are convincing the farmers, their relatives and friends, and we are doing these things through that. And there is one saying of Jack Ma, I can say, the founder of Alibaba, today is difficult, tomorrow will be more difficult, and day after tomorrow is beautiful. So I can say most of the people die on this tomorrow is evening. So at the tomorrow's evening, we need support. We need support of government. We need support of different NGOs, different agencies, so that anyone who is in a new business, new startups needs support, so that he can be enjoy the beautiful day.
Okay. There are two questions in the chat, and once again, I invite participants to put questions in the chat. And Amit, that goes in your direction. Perhaps we can combine those. The one is, so if you think about scale up, would you be able to provide your fertilizers on a scale which would be comparable to the conventional fertilizers that are used today? And the same question goes then in, how do you address biodiversity? Or how does your innovation address biodiversity and sustainability in this field?
So I will be answering.
Okay, sure.
I'll answer about the potentially provide your fertilizer on a large scale comparable to the amounts used conventionally. Okay, there is a lot of potential for providing it on a larger scale, because what raw materials we are using is just the agriculture waste, animal waste, and the worms that are present in abundance. So there is no chances of we cannot scale. We can scale. But if required, if we get orders, we can scale the 1,000 times, of course, because the raw materials we use are just the waste. And there is a lot in tons and lakhs of tons. We get the waste and we process the waste to manufacture our fertilizer. So there is no issue of scalability, potential of scalability. And another question is, how does your innovation address biodiversity sustainability? We are saying that it is enhancing the biodiversity. That means we were saying in the concern that our product also inhabits some of the beneficial microorganisms that are useful in nitrogen assimilation and potassium metabolizing such bacteria, KMBs and all, phosphorus metabolizing bacteria. So these will enhance their biodiversity while they are used in the fields. So the biodiversity will proliferate and go with the sustainable world.
Thank you very much. I think, well, Colin, perhaps a question also to you, or as a general comment to the whole series of startups we've seen, and I think we've shown that, and many confirmed that let's say the 10 objectives can help as an orientation point for startups to succeed to more sustainability and to move in the right direction. I wonder also, when we look at the solutions and how it's perceived with end customers, so what can we perhaps do to make this more transparent and understandable, perceivable for end customers? But that comes to my mind also in your solutions, Raj and Amit, you presented today. How's the acceptance? So perhaps you can also comment on that, and what you can do in terms of, do we need another label or certificate or something like that? But I think the objectives are good as an orientation for those who are doing the innovation. But the question is that also necessarily for those a bit more outside, so the end customers consuming these products and trying to understand, well, what's the difference between what we had before?
To me?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think
you have an opinion on that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think you make a good point about how the objectives maybe are more geared towards the innovators rather than the customers. I think objective 8, I think it's 8, calls to maximize social benefits of green sustainable chemistry innovation. So kind of communicating the benefits to your end customers is really important to achieve that objective. I think we have, 2 really good examples today of the challenges that come with speaking with an end customer about a green sustainable chemistry product. We have Amit, who works with farmers, so he has to communicate the benefits of his product in a language that they understand. And as well, there's a huge range of different possible customers for his product. So yeah, I guess you need a robust way to reach those customers, and it needs to be targeted. And there are a lot of other good examples out there of other dialogues to reach end customers. And I think also Raj, he has a different approach that he has to use with textile processors. So I guess I think it changes a lot depending on the situation, but I'm sure there's some consistencies which we can probably draw out of these webinars of what the different entrepreneurs have done to achieve that.
So
any other takes from the others on this question?
Yeah. So just wanted to share, Alexis, on a little bit of what I think here. We could probably have more of a standardized certification on having the quantification in terms of biodiversity. You understand? There is no certification of biodiversity. And the challenge we have, we are not only in textiles, we are under 4 verticals. So we also offer textile, personal care, paint and coating, and home care. So there's a lot of technical explanation. I need to send out presentations, which are 72 slides, and then sit with them for an hour and explain. Now this, if we have a standardized biodiversity certificate, where someone applies, maybe through UNEP, this is biodiverse, it's vetted by this certification body, that's sufficient enough for the consumer to just use it. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to get onto business, and everyone wants to drive profit. So it makes things simpler and faster if you have certifications, because they build credibility. And once you have credibility on the technology, it is easy to sell. Another aspect to drive consumer knowledge would also be to use a bit of what we use with the smoking cigarette packets. We do declare in a very gross manner the ill effects of smoking. And it's similar. A textile fabric, a personal care product could probably have these kind of side notes where you can educate the customers, because consumers are not chemists, and 90% of the product are chemicals. So they, at the end of the day, need to be educated that what's happening to their children. And with social media that we have abundantly available, passing this knowledge down would not be a problem. But structuring the data in a way that's easy to understand is where the challenge is.
Lalit, you've raised your hand.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just lower it first, otherwise. Yeah, I agree with Raj, and my point on the plastic aspect also have the standardization of the particular product. You see, we have a product, and the product is for the same particular usage. You talk about PET bottles, for example. I'm giving you example of the plastic because we are working on that domain. But this specific cap of the bottle is sometimes of a different material, sometimes of it can be LDP, it can be HDP, it can be sometimes in case PVC also, and sometimes it is even some other material. But when it comes to the recycling, it creates huge problem. So with this standard mechanism, if some sort of a mobilization can come from UN or from this specific forum with sharing such kind of models, this really creates a lot of a difference. That is my one take on that. There is another example, if you allow me. You see, in the EPR, in the extended producer responsibility in the country, we have these multi-layer packaging wherein you have Tetra Paks, wherein you have the packed plastic coating into it. That is only coming into the EPR domain, and they are allowed to, I mean, with all due respect to everyone. But when you talk about a particular person who is making a small cup of the single paper and is giving some sort of a barrier coating to it, or a spoon giving a barrier coating to it, he is probably not allowed. So there has to be a standard for both in that specific case, so that these small players can also be benefited as the big players also are benefiting from the same kind of. And that's why I said that I agree with Raj on the certification, as he mentioned about, and on the product specifications. I also look forward that there can be a huge input which can come from the forum. And these small examples can be, some sort of an icebreaker for others to learn and scale them up in different aspects. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you very much. I think we are already quite advanced in time, so I would like one last question to be placed to Amit and Raj. That's because we usually also have some people here in the audience that perhaps are at the end of their studies, and well, we would like, or we'd love if some of them would consider to use their expertise to build up their own business also. So which advice would you give from your personal experience now as a founder in the ecosystem you're working at? Which advice would you give to a young person that is looking into founding of a business in sustainable chemistry?
Amit, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll go next. Should I go ahead? Okay, so I'll go ahead. So Alexis, I think, look, starting a business is really challenging. Okay, it's going to take your your tears out of you. There will be times that it's going to really challenge you. Failures are going to be there. Business is not just innovating products. Innovating products is a part of a business, and selling them is a second part of business. And then managing the cash flows, running a team, building a team, maintaining the team, having a production facility, complying to standards, complying to local standards, international standards, and getting the right certifications is truly challenging. However, it's not impossible. And I think you need to have grit, a lot of grit. A very wise man who passed away told me 1,000 days. Don't expect anything for 1,000 days. Okay, that's minimum that you will run behind something. But from the sustainable chemistry point of view, if we see things, then we must see that everything is linked. Everything in this world is linked. Any decision we make today with any part of our business has its consequence to another life cycle or another life chain. So before we start off, we must know in entirety the entire impact that your business will have on your personal finances and outward, and the environment. Think this through completely in detail before mobilizing any product. That's my peace of mind.
Amit, your advice.
From my side, I can say for anybody, the product, the services, whatever you want to want to build a business, that should be unique idea. That is the priority first. And second one is, it must be scalable business. It must have the scalability. And secondly, generating the trust of customer is the basic one. So through customer voice, you can you can scale your business, and you must have some social impact through your business. So this is my suggestions to the newcomers.
Thank you very much for your participation in this panel discussion. Yes, so now on the agenda would be conclusion, but I would like to shift that to the end of the session so that we don't run out of time. And Juanita, so Juanita.
Okay. So this should be the right presentation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. So beside of what happened today, I wanted to say that I really feel very privileged and honored that we had the opportunity to have 10 amazing sustainable chemistry startups being part of the Sustainable Chemistry Club. All of your innovations are amazing, and we want to acknowledge your hard work, because by developing sustainable products, processes, and business models, you play a key role in enabling a livable future and achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So thank you for all of the startups that were part of the season in Sustainable Chemistry Club. And our season this time was, as Alexis already mentioned, advancing UNEP's 10 objectives and guiding considerations for green and sustainable chemistry. I also wanna thank UNEP for their time, and it was a huge honor to be able to work with you, Colin. Thank you for your dedication and all of the hard hours, waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning. He's in the US West Coast right now, so thank you very much. Yeah, and then I wanna showcase all of the startups right now. If you are here, but let's continue then. So again, I wanted to thank all of the startups. I mean, we already met today Vidrijal, and we already met Schutzen, but we already featured all of the other startups that you can see here. Unfortunately, some of you were not there, so I just want to take a moment to say a few words about them. I don't know if someone from Minimize, if Anupan, if you're here, please take 1 minute to say something about yourself. If not, then I can share a little bit about what they're doing.
Yeah, Anupam is not here, but I am Arvind, and I am the co-founder of Minimize. And I would like to say thank you all for organizing this beautiful event. And thank you all. Thank you, Sustainable Chemistry Club, for letting us present our ideas and doing this good work in sustainable chemistry and sustainable development in various fields. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you, Arvin. It was great to have you guys there. Then also, Revi, if Dr. Bonita, if you're here, if you can take just 1 minute or less to say something short about your startup, that would be great.
Thank you, Janita. I'm Dr. Vanita Prasad, and we are working on to improvisation of biomethanation process to produce biofuels, methane and hydrogen by biological route, which is the most greenest way of producing energy. So decarbonizing our energy sector. So I'm thankful to the organizers who have given us this opportunity to be the part of the sustainable chemistry group. And I'm looking forward to work with all of you to really achieve the sustainability goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanita. And then the next one would be Ashaya with Without.
Hi, Juanita. Hi, everyone. My name is Anish. We're building Without by Ashaya. It's the world. We made the world's first recycled sunglasses from packets of chips using our proprietary chemomechanical engineering process. And yeah, sustainable chemist ISC has been super helpful for us to give us the platform and also to give us access to certain individuals that have been, certain scientists that have been super helpful to us in the process as well. So thank you for having us and hope to continue this association for the years to come.
Thank you, Anish. And then EcoWork, Dea, I think I saw you earlier.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you, and thanks, Juanita. So I am part of the EcoWork team. We are Swiss and Indian people, and we are focusing on electronic waste and integrating the informal sector into the supply chain and create more efficient and safe environmental e-waste management, basically. So I'm really happy to be here. Thanks a lot. And also very interesting to hear from all the other startups and everyone else who shares the same vision and passion on creating a better and safer world. Thanks.
Thank you, Dea. Then I would also have Proclean Technologies. Kartikeyan, are you there? Doesn't look like this, but Proclean, it was founded to explore industrial applications using probiotic with a core intent of contributing to making the world a better place by reducing pollution and conserving natural resources. Then the next startup that was part of the Sustainable Chemistry Club, it's Coco Custo. Shan, are you here? I don't think so as well, but Coco Custo and Shan, they are creating sustainable household products. So every cleaning product, she reformulated from a non-toxic 100% biodegradable ingredient. And then Alver, I think I saw them earlier. Someone from Alver there. Okay. So Alver is creating healthy and sustainable high quality food products out of something called a microalgae golden corella. And it's sustainable and it has a very high amount of protein. So it's like a protein product. And then we already met Schützen. And then the last startup that was part of it was Help Us Green. Karen, are you here? I don't think I saw you, but Help Us Green, they work together with 49 rural families to recycle flowers and recycle the flower waste. So they create out of it different products like inks and pigments. He was telling me that all of these flowers would land in the river, so they take it out of it and then create the pigments out of it. So as you can see, all of the startups are doing an amazing work, and we were very impressed by all of its innovations. So it was very difficult for us to select 3 winners. But therefore, we thought it would be important to acknowledge everyone's work in green and sustainable chemistry. So we would like to give everyone a certificate as a shining example for sustainable chemistry. I mean, Raj, I know that this was something that you were mentioning, that certification should be important, and we agree. And we want to be able to showcase that and acknowledge all of the hard work that everyone is doing. Yeah, but besides that, we still have 3 winners that are going to join us at the Investor Forum that is taking place this year in September in Bonn. So you will be able to join us live at the event and receive a travel grant. So this was super hard for us, but one of our solutions that we thought should come to the event, I mean, we would love to be able to invite everyone. We just can't. But one of them is Schützen. Congratulations, Raj. We're looking forward to see you in September in Germany.
Thank you very much, Juanita. Thank you very much, Alexis, and everyone for choosing us. We are humbly obliged. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Of course. Then another solution that we're also inviting in September, it's going to be Without from Ashaya. Anish, congratulations. We're looking forward to see you in September.
Gracias a todos. Sí, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to coming as well. Thank you.
Yes. And then the third solution that we thought it should come as well, that we want to recognize, is EcoWork. Congratulations, Dea. We're super excited to have you also as well.
Thank you so much. I feel very honored, and I'm sure I speak for the team. So thanks a lot for your support here.
Again, this was super hard for us. You all did an amazing job. And we really appreciated your time, and we really enjoy learning about your innovations. And I hope you know that we at the IC3, we're a community, and anything you need from us, we want to grow with you and with your startup. Yeah, so that's all from my side. Thank you very much. I give the word back to Alexis.
So thank you very much. So I end with the conclusions and a bit of a closing remarks. So ladies and gentlemen, we have seen today again 2 entrepreneurs, 2 startups pushing hard to bring more sustainable products and solutions to the market. We have learned, as in the entire sessions, about the motivation of these entrepreneurs, your ambitions, your dreams. And we've also seen, of course, in many of these webinars that you are not, that you have to deal with non-ideal framework conditions, obviously. So be it lacking governmental support or lacking finance or other incentives, insufficient awareness of customers and consumers, or other challenges. And these challenges are very individual for each of the 10 startups and the very, very different sectors, products and technologies you are targeting. We have also seen how diverse the field of sustainable chemistry can be. So this is also very amazing and important for us to see. So some of you startups didn't even consider you being part of the sustainable chemistry family. So we thought different. What is really amazing to see how you are convinced of what you do and you keep on striving for your goals, and well, irrespective of framework conditions. So that's really amazing to see. It's striking to me that most of the startups we've seen are really addressing sustainability in a more holistic way. So also many of them working on societal challenge, often considering societal aspects as part of your businesses. This is really something we acknowledge, and we would like to see more examples in that area. So I sincerely hope, and I think we can also say this on behalf of the other partners that have participated in this series of the Sustainable Chemistry Club, that you will have success and that your products, services, and solutions will enter the target markets you're addressing, or that you're able to expand. I would, as I said beforehand, I would also be thrilled if we have been able to motivate some people in the audience, students, to follow your examples as founders and to think how they can, well, utilize their gained experience in to solve local, regional problems and maybe creating own businesses also. So thank you everyone for participating. This was the last webinar in this series of the club, but that doesn't mean that the club will end, of course. So please stay tuned for the Sustainable Chemistry Club. We have now concluded the 10 UNEP objective series. We will continue with another topic and will inform you about the next events. Please also have a look at the other sessions of the Sustainable Chemistry Spotlights. Also today, have a look at the schedule on the talk platform. There are more interesting discussions and presentations today, and also have a look at the other Spotlight days on specific other topics. So, and with this, I wish everyone a beautiful rest of the day and hope to see you next time or in Bonn at the IC3 Investor Forum in the framework of the World Chemicals Conference. Goodbye to everyone for this session.